Hey everyone, I thought I'd show you real quick how to know if rhubarb is ready to be picked. So you've got your huge leaves, and what you're going to do is grab the stalk fairly far down and just pull a little bit. And if it comes out, and it comes out hollow, then it was ready to be picked. If you have to pull really hard, then it wasn't ready, and just leave it be. See that hollow in there? Ah, the bugs are out. Anyway, I'm going to pick a few of these and then make something hopefully good for my family. The other thing you can do with rhubarb is take and break this top off. And I like to set it down around my plant, and it keeps the weeds down. And then it also gives back to the soil. All right, there's my rhubarb. Hey everyone, so we picked our rhubarb from our garden, or maybe you got some from a friend if you don't have any in your yard. And I'm going to show you what I do, one of my family's favorite recipes. It's a rhubarb crisp, and to this crisp you can add anything, any kind of fruit. So today I'm going to do some apples and some raspberries from my garden. I did not grow the apples in Alaska. I did grow the raspberries, but we've got raspberries coming on again, and these are from last year, so we need to get these used up. So I will show you how to make the crisp. Okay, so for this crisp, you're obviously going to need your rhubarb and whatever fruit. We like strawberries, raspberries, apples, cherries, all sorts of things. Any kind of fruit that you like probably will work. I don't know if bananas would work, but most kinds of fruit. Anyway, so you need that. You're also going to need brown sugar. You're going to need some butter or margarine, whichever you prefer. You're going to need some flour, and you're going to need some oats. Whoops. I do not recommend quick oats, but I apparently did not pay attention when I bought these, and they are quick oats. So anyway, the wholer the grain, the more nutrients that are in it, but this is dessert, so we're not going to worry about that today. Anyway, some oats. So, and then you're going to need a baking dish. I already cut one of the apples up. Grease it just lightly. It doesn't really need a lot. And this is an 8x8. We're not making a ton, but it works well in this size pan. Or if you have a round pan or a pie plate or anything like that works. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our apples. And just like you saw there, we're just going to peel and chop our apples. And you're going to want to keep them fairly small, all the pieces of fruit that you cut up. The raspberries are going to cook pretty fast, but the bigger the pieces, the longer it's going to take to cook. So if you want it to be done in 30 minutes, then I would recommend that you chop everything small. And then save your peelings if you're going to save those for your compost pile. This is how I like to cut my apples. It's faster than coring. However, sometimes you have to peel a core out. Anyway, so you'll notice those are not huge pieces. Dump my raspberries, and you'll see these are frozen still. It's fine. Don't worry about it. The liquid in there will be all right. Dump those in. And then we'll cut the rhubarb. I don't know if I'll use all this rhubarb. Okay, we're gonna stop there. I'm not gonna use that last one because we're pretty full. So you want to just kind of toss the fruit to just kind of mix it in. And you see how full my pan is? It'll be okay, I promise. Because all of this stuff is gonna cook down. But you do need to be able to get your topping on here. So don't fill it so full that you can't get the topping on. And spread it out fairly evenly. And then we'll make the topping. Okay, the topping is super simple. I forgot to tell you this at the beginning. This is really nice. It's a pastry cutter for the fat, butter, whatever you're going to use into the flour. If you don't have one of these, that's fine. You can use a fork or a couple knives together. I've used a fork for many, many years, but I really like my pastry cutter. And then my bowl. All right, for this recipe, you're going to need, so I debate because my family really, they love the crisp, but they also really love the topping. Anyway, so we're going to go, I don't know, we'll go 1/3 of a cup of butter. Maybe we'll just throw the whole thing in. Sorry, I'm one of those, just throw it in, see how that goes. Oh, the other thing I forgot to tell you is you're going to need some spices. So you need some nutmeg, some cinnamon, and some ginger. And if you have other spices you like if you like cloves, or if you like allspice, or any of that kind of stuff, you can put that in here too, or in substitution of those spices. So we're going to start with our butter, and then we're going to put in the butter 3/4 of a cup of flour. And then we're going to do a cup of brown sugar, packed brown sugar, but I'm going to use my same 3/4 cup. I don't like dirtying too many dishes because I'm the one that ends up having to clean them up. So we just won't pack that down. But that's about a cup of brown sugar, somewhere in there. And then we're going to take the cutter. So that's pretty good. We're going to add our oats and stuff really quick, and then we'll continue cutting. You want to get it somewhat like sand, wet sand, a little bit. Okay, we're going to put our oats in there. That looks pretty good, because that's what's in the container. Then I'm going to add my spices. So I'm going to go 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. And a teaspoon of cinnamon. I like cinnamon. If you like cinnamon, add as much as you want. A little over a teaspoon, I guess, there. And then cloves. I love cloves, but the rest of my family is not, or my husband is not a huge fan of cloves. So we'll just do 1/2 teaspoon of that. He probably won't be able to taste it either. Okay, so there's all that. Now we're going to do a little bit more, just to get everything combined. It doesn't take long. And this is the consistency that we have. Looks like, again, like wet sand. Everything is moistened. There's no dry flour, no dry oats or anything like that. Now we're going to take our pan, and this is where you got to be careful, because there is a lot of topping here. You're going to spread it to the edges, right up to the top. Spread that out even. Now, one thing you might do, so this is fairly full, is when I put it in the oven, I might put a pan under it so in case the juices boil over, but I'm not worried too much about it. This isn't quite like a pie where there's a ton of juices. So we're gonna go put this in the oven, 375 degrees, and it cooks for about 30 minutes. This is fairly full, it might take 40, but somewhere in there. Just stick a knife in the middle, and if the fruit feels soft, then you're good to go. All right, so our rhubarb berry crisp is finished. So as you can see, this is still a little bit warm, but you can see how much it shrunk down. Remember, we were like heaping, but everything cooked down. It's fairly thin. I mean, not thin, but there's a little bit of liquid down there, but not a ton. And it looks beautiful. It's very golden on the top and crisp. Anyway, I'm just going to serve just a little bit. You see how crisp that top is? And this is great served with ice cream or whipped cream or whatever. But anyway, there is a beautiful serving of rhubarb crisp. Rhubarb and some other kind of fruit crisp. When I stopped and was cooking this, I thought it would be good with peaches too. Peaches and pears and things like that. Anyway, so there's our crisp. And there's a fair amount of liquid right now. As it cools, that will actually get a little bit thicker, and even if it's there, it's kind of like a sauce on your ice cream. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope you try it. And if you don't have rhubarb, make friends with somebody who does, because it grills really well in most places. So anyway, I hope you have a great day. Thanks.